It's 5 minutes past 8. This is Conversations on Energy FM 102.1 and Choice FM 101.1. It was Winston S. Churchill who said, quote unquote, "It's not enough to have lived. We should be determined to live for something." Author of motivational books and life coach Ebenezer Mamabolo joins me now in studio to talk about monetizing purpose lessons. And these are lessons from his personal journey. You're more than welcome to join us in this conversation. Our WhatsApp text line is 079-295-1212. 079-295-1212, and you can also send us an SMS to 47861. That's 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. Alternatively, you can give us a call.
Have your say. Call us now on 015-151-1058.
Mr. Mamabolo, good evening and welcome.
Good evening and thank you for having me.
Right, so I made a realization whilst we were having the conversation with Ateni Maiwasha to say, oftentimes when our listeners are engaging with us, they refer to me as Sis Rebecca.
Okay.
And I started thinking, what could that be communicating about what one could be thinking I sound like or how old I sound, right?
Okay.
And in that, then I started thinking that we're talking about monetizing on your purpose. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, we still have people who are quite older today who are still battling with the question of really determining what their purpose is,
yes.
right? And I thought maybe we should start with that particular regard, because we've spoken about finding out what your purpose is
yes.
on a number of occasions. But
yes.
perhaps to just refresh our minds, what is purpose?
Purpose is the reason that you and I were created. And in my book, I talk about purpose being the foundation that we build our dreams on. You know, me coming from a Christian background, when I was taught and I was seeking for my own definition of truth on what truth is, I discovered that whatever it is that I might plan, whatever it is that I might want to do, what will stand will be God's purpose for my life. And it's on that foundation that I discovered that no, if indeed God's purpose for my life will stand no matter what I plan, no matter what I think that I'm going to achieve, then it is on his purpose that I should build all my dreams upon. Now, what I've also discovered is that as I was busy on this journey of my own discovery, I discovered that probably the most important thing or the most commonality amongst all of us is that when we discover our purpose, the missing link between our discovery of purpose is getting to a point where we monetize our purpose. I meet a lot of people who come to me and say, "Mr. Mamabolo, maybe I am a pastor." I remember one pastor who wrote me on one of the blogs that I was writing for, and he said to me that, I love what I'm doing as a pastor, but the problem that I have is that I can't feed my family because when the church is over, when everything is all and done, I have used my own resources. I've tapped into my own personal resources that I should be using for my family, that I should be using for my wife, for my children, and now I'm left with nothing. I don't know what to do. What should I do? And I've also seen it in a lot of people where you find that people are engaged in non-profit work, they are doing good charitable works, but at the end of the day, they've used up their own resources to fulfill other people's needs, to help other people reach their own goals. But at the end of the day, when they go home, when it's time for them to eat, there's nothing to eat at home because they used up all of their resources meeting other people's needs. Now, when I realized and I saw this in my life and in other people, I realized that no, it's not enough for us to discover our purpose. We should also find a way to monetize our purpose. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you can't go home and eat the round of applause that people had given you. You can't go home and eat the God bless you that people have been given you. You need to find food to eat for yourself. Now, it's on that resolution that we need to get to a point where we monetize our purpose.
So one can't eat a round of applause.
No, you can't eat.
I'm quite interested really in this discussions around monetizing on your purpose and so forth. And the reason why I really wanted us to just refresh our minds in terms of what purpose really means is that when you give this example now of saying that a lot of people are involved in a lot of projects, and oftentimes you find that it's not necessarily a single kind of a project, right?
Yes, yes.
People are involved in several things. And one of the many difficulties that will then come with trying to monetize on your purpose is even knowing if that which you've been investing your time in is in fact your purpose.
Yes.
How do you know?
There are 4 questions that I would like us to think about.
All right.
That will help us to discover our purpose, but not only to discover our purpose, to discover our purpose and monetize it. The first question that we need to ask ourselves is that, what is it that I really love? Now, when you discover what you really love, the next thing is that, what are you good at? If what I love doing is something that I'm not good at, then that's not my passion. But when I find something that I love and something that I am good at, that is my passion. Now, it's not enough to find out what you love and what you're good at. You must also discover, can this thing that I love, can this thing that I am good at, can I be paid for doing it? Now, when you discover something that you are good at and you are paid for, that's when you discover your profession or your career. Now, it's not also enough to discover what you're good at and what you can be paid for. You need to also discover what the world needs. It's not enough for me to say that this is what I love doing, this is what I can be paid for, this is what I'm good at, but you find that no, this thing that I'm doing the world doesn't need. Now, the traps that most of us find ourselves in, we find ourselves that we are doing what we love, we are doing what we are good at, and we are even doing what we are getting paid for. But the tragedy of that is that we find ourselves unsatisfied, or we find feeling a sense of uselessness, because now that thing that I can get paid for, that I'm good at, it's not something that the world needs. So I don't find fulfillment when I'm doing that thing. Or another trap, we find ourselves doing what we love, doing what we are good at, doing also what the world needs. That gives us our mission. But you find that sometimes you find that I don't feel that I am delighted. It feels like I am fulfilled, but I don't have any money that I'm making out of this thing that I'm doing. Another one would be, you find that you've discovered what you are good at, what you can get paid for, what you love, but you find that you feel comfortable, and in that comfort you feel empty. You feel empty because you are not earning an income, and you are not making an impact on the world. And the last trap would be that you've discovered what you love, you've discovered what you are getting paid for and what the world needs, but it's not something that you are good at. And you find that you've got a lot of excitement, you've got complacency and a sense of uncertainty, because you are not sure, because this thing that I'm doing, is it really what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? So those are the 4 traps that we find ourselves in. Now, for us to be able to discover and fulfill our purpose and to be able to monetize it, all of these 4 areas, they need to be in alignment. It needs to be something that you love, something that you are good at, something that you can be paid for, and also even something that the world needs. Because when the world needs something, then I know that no, if this thing that the world needs, it's what I'm doing, and it's something that I can get paid for, and it's something that I'm good at, and it's something that I love doing, I am passionate about it, I've crafted a career around it. I've even found a mission that I'm pursuing in my life to fulfill that particular mission. And you find that now then you are fulfilled, and you're also even earning an income that you can help yourself, and you can even feed your own family.
I would imagine once one has managed to really go through the questions, they should be able to know if the project they've been pursuing is misplaced, or in fact it will bring about something. But I would imagine that one is possibly also thinking that, but you know, Mr. Mamabolo, we also get to be told that perseverance is the mother of success.
Yes.
And now you say that I must ask myself, is this thing actually paying me? This purpose-driven project, or this purpose-driven work that I continue to do. So I wonder how one then is able to strike a balance within the understanding of saying that perseverance is the mother of success, but at the same time, you also need to always go back to the drawing board. But let's get into the lessons now. Lessons on that you obviously have acquired, that is with regards to monetizing on purpose. Let's get into those.
I'll discover that probably one of the biggest things that stops us from monetizing our own purposes, it's the negative associations that we have got around money, or even the toxic beliefs that we might believe about money. Some of these beliefs would be that, this one is a popular one. If I could say it, the love of money is, and you find that no, this is a misquote. This is a misquote, because now the Bible does not say that money is the root of all evil, but the love of money would be the root of all evil. Another one, toxic belief, is that I don't think that I am not smart enough to make money. Another toxic belief is that we tend to think that no, it's not, I can't do right things, I can't do things legally that would make me earn money. Another one would be that, I'm serving God, I'm doing it for God's work only. You can do God's work and you can get paid. And I'm reminded of one young guy who approached me and he said, Mr. Mamabolo, I've got this problem that I have. I go to church and I am the pastor there, and I'm serving in the church. But the problem that I have is that when it's time for me to be rewarded financially for the service that I provide for the church, I'm not getting paid enough. But when a guest speaker comes maybe from overseas, they get paid a lot of money, but I, as the home guy, I'm not even paid enough for me to feed myself. Now that's also another problem that we've got. It's not enough when you can serve God and still make money. You can serve God and still make a living out of you serving God. There are ways, and I always give the example when I'm talking to the musicians and church, that sometimes if you find that the church that you are in, it's not big enough that you can record your own albums that you'll be able to publish as the church and you'll be able to earn an income. Now do whatever it is that you can do to use those resources that you've got. You've got access to music equipment. You can do your own music, release your own album with those resources that you have. Another one. This is probably a hard pill to swallow. There is no honor in poverty, and there is no holiness in poverty. Whether you believe in God or not, you can believe in God and make money. The Bible itself talks about the fact that King Solomon discovered that money answers all things. Another one would be there is a lot of money, enough money for all of us to reach our financial freedom and to meet all of our needs. Another one. This is probably one of the another toxic one, thinking that money, or if I'm having money, or if I've got money, or I'm monetizing my purpose, I won't be happy. In the same way, you won't even be happy if you can't feed your own self, you can't feed your family, or you can't feed those ones that you love. And another one would be that another toxic belief, thinking that only the rich are getting richer. We've got people who are poor, who went from being poor and to being rich. The difference is that what I knew, or the things that I thought, the way I was thinking as a poor man, it needs to change for me to be able to attract the wealth, to be able to keep the wealth, and to be able to grow the wealth. The last one would be that this is another toxic belief, that no one deserves to have enough money, or no one deserves to have enough money to meet all of their needs, irrespective of where you find yourself in. If you find that you've got some toxic beliefs that are stopping you from monetizing your gift, from monetizing your purpose, start interrogating those beliefs that you have that are stopping you from earning a living from your gift.
Look, I think it's because we're talking about monetizing that many will probably start thinking, look, I'm earning this X amount of money on this work that I've been doing. I'm passionate about it. People love me. If you work in customer relations, for example, you're always the biggest salesperson and so forth. But now when Mr. Mamabolo comes and says you must monetize, you must work towards monetizing on your purpose, one starts thinking, oh my God, then it means that what I've been doing, which was to have a reasonable ability to sustain that which is my current life, is not enough. And then maybe one then has to go above board, to be quite wealthy and so forth. I'm hoping that after the break, you'll be able to then clarify that, so that people do not then start thinking that is, if it's not the case, to say, when you say one must monetize on their purpose, it means that they must aspire to acquire the riches of the world.
Yes.
On our Motivation Monday, we're talking about monetizing purpose, and we're getting lessons from Ebenezer Mamabolo. He's an author of motivational books and life coach. You can join us in the conversation. Our WhatsApp text line is 079-295-1212, 079-295-1212. And you can also send us an SMS to 47861. That's 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. And you can also give us a call, as we will be continuing with this discussion after the break.
Have your say. Call us now on 015-151-1058. Conversations, Mondays to Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with Rebecca Phala.
The time is 21 minutes past 8. This is Conversations on Energy FM 102.1 and Choice FM 101.1. On our Motivation Monday tonight with Mr. Ebenezer Mamabolo, we're talking about monetizing purpose, and we're getting lessons from all the experiences that Mr. Mamabolo has had over the years. You can join us in conversation on our WhatsApp text line 079-295-1212, 079-295-1212. 212. And our SMS line is 47861. That's 47861. Start each SMS with the short code EFM, and each SMS is charged at R1.50. You can also give us a call on this number.
Have your say. Call us now on 015-151-1058.
Let's take calls now. Simon joins us on the line. Simon, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, my sister. How are you?
Well, thank you, Simon. And how are you?
I'm good, Mama.
Yes. What's your contribution?
Okay. Let me first appreciate that you put me through the line. What I want to ask, I want to ask a question. In fact.
All right.
Yes, because they talked about the purpose, isn't it?
We're talking about purpose.
Yeah, they said they talked about what you love, what you are good at. It can be that can give you a salary? What is it needed? Is it something that the world need? So my question is, if maybe I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and my belief is that it's not about money to preach the gospel of God. So if that, I know that to me is a belief.
Yes.
Because they said, is that can I be paid to do that? So on that purpose, under that purpose, I was just trying to understand, because it's a question.
All right. So the premise, yes, you okay? Do you continue?
I think the question was that is it possible to be paid to preach the gospel of God?
So you're asking if it's possible to be paid to preach the gospel of God if the premise and your belief is that you just want to do it because you're a Christian?
Because I am asking that question and I'm saying it's something that the world need. I see that it's something the world need, something that I love, it's something that I'm good at.
Okay.
My question is under that payment.
All right. Simon, you can listen on the radio.
Thank you very much.
Ebenezer?
Yeah, you can choose to either be paid for it or not. But I know of a lot of preachers who get paid to fulfill what they are doing. They get paid to preach. So whether you choose to or not, that's solely your choice. And I would also challenge you to go and read what Jesus Christ said when he was sending his disciples. He said that don't take anything when you are going. The very same people that you are giving the gospel to, they are the one who will be able to provide for your needs. So if you choose to say that, no, I'm not going to be monetizing my purpose because I'm a pastor, or I'm going to serve people my gift for free, that's your choice. And as long as you can live with that, as long as you are happy with it, then that's your choice.
Look, I would imagine Simon's question then talks to the issue that I threw forward before we went to the break to say, when you say monetizing on one's purpose, one could easily think, look, with the questions that you said, one must ask themselves to be able to establish if that which they're currently doing and passionate about is in fact their purpose. Yes. What happens really when one says, look, I think it is my purpose, but I'm getting paid a basic amount of money. I can sustain my livelihood, but when I look at what my counterparts are doing, you spoke about this local pastor who felt as though I'm not being paid, but when people from other countries are brought into the church, they get given these amounts of money and so forth. And we're about to conclude. Just address that exactly. Should this person still aspire to acquire more monetary means in any way?
Whatever area you find yourself in, there is nothing wrong with you being comfortable with where you are. If the job that you are in or whatever purpose it is that you are fulfilling, you can pay your bills, you are fulfilled doing it, you can meet your basic needs, there is nothing wrong. You don't even need to even look for more ways that you can monetize or go to the extreme of even making more money. If you are comfortable where you are, there is nothing wrong with that. You can be happy just like with a lot of people that we know. An example would be Warren Buffett. He's got lots of billions, but the money that he spends, he doesn't even spend close to the amount of money that he has. So if you are comfortable where you are, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that as long as you love what you're doing, as long as you can meet your own basic needs.
It could be tricky to say as long as you're comfortable where you are, because you would remember what I said earlier is, now when one is listening to you, Because people listen to Motivation Monday to get lessons.
Yes.
When one is listening to you and they're thinking, so I can actually monetize on my purpose. Not that they were not necessarily monetizing on it. That's why I wanted you to really clarify so that you're not quoted out of context. To say, you're not saying that people must now aspire for the riches of the world.
Yes.
But for one to really settle in comfort. Is that what you're saying? To say that just be comfortable.
Yes. It does not matter. The thing is, a lot of us, we are different. And the hunger that we have, it's different. The hunger that I might have to grow a business, to build a business, might not be the same hunger that you've got. And if you don't have that hunger to commercialize and industrialize your purpose, make it into a big movement that would change the world and make an impact that would shake the world, there's nothing wrong with that. You can still fulfill your purpose in your local community, and you don't even need to pursue large sums of money or that big impact. As long as whatever it is that you are doing brings you joy, as long as at the end of the day you don't go home crying, say that no, I'm not, I can't meet my needs, or I can't pay for my children's school fees. As long as whatever it is that you are doing, you are loving it, you are fulfilled doing it, and you can meet your basic needs, there is nothing wrong with that. And if you are the person who's got a big hunger and you want to make more money, even doing whatever it is that you are doing, you can go ahead. And next week when we are talking about systems that will help you to monetize your purpose, then you will be able to get deeper into those ones.
All right. Do we have a quote for the week?
Yes, we've got a quote of the week. And it's from my friend Tulani, and a mentor of mine. He says that man can choose to marry or bury his gift. He can choose to destroy his gift or to deploy it. He can choose to maximize or compromise it. It remains his sole purpose and duty to commercialize or industrialize his gift.
It remains his sole purpose and duty.
Yes.
I think that just sums it up. Please give us your contact details.
My contact details on all of the social medias, just search for Ebenezer Mamabolo. And when you are booking me as a coach and as a speaker, contact me on 071 639 7807.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ebenezer Mamabolo. We will meet next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is our time on Conversations tonight. Coming up next is Night Flight with Matuma Managa. Thanks to the show's content producer, Mami Morashwa, and our technical producer, Emmanuel Quinda, as well as to you for always listening and interacting with us. I am Rebecca Phala. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe.